Oh yeah, look at that. It's just getting pumped full of oil. Alright guys, welcome to a new video on the $400 1994 Honda Cr80. Last video we found out the pipe was packed with oil and actually a stick was clogged in the pipe. So what I'm thinking happened is that the motor built up so much pressure and probably blew a seal, causing an air leak, causing the bike to have zero power. It smokes a ton. There's oil in the pipe, which means that that right crank seal is probably blown, pushing oil up into the cylinder, past the rings, through the pipe, and that's where we're getting that oil. I checked out the carburetor, the reeds. We checked for an air leak on the left side crank seal, and that seemed to be fine. I put fuel around there, and it didn't increase or decrease the RPMs there. So I think we're fine with that crank seal. The one I'm worried about, like I said before, is the right side, which means that we have to take off the clutch case right here in order to get to that. And I think we might have to split the case. I'm not 100% sure on this model, but most of the time that crank seal goes in from this way with the crank. So basically what we have to do is split the case, take this case half off right here, and then push it in through the left hand side, not the right hand side. But with the Honda it could be different. I've rebuilt the Kawasaki 65 and you had to push it in that way, and being an 80cc I'm guessing it's probably the same way. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get it from the right hand side, but you know, we don't know until we take off everything. So basically we're going to be taking apart the whole bike today and really checking out everything. Who knows, it probably does need new rings or a new piston. I mean, it did have 140 pounds of compression, but you know, we'll check it out and see what happens. We'll check out the water pump, see if that needs a new seal in there. And yeah, so basically I think that's going to be the gist of the video today. Yeah, so I guess we'll get right into it, start taking apart this bike and try to solve this problem. I did order up the new seals. Those came in the mail today actually, so I figured why not just start digging into it. So we got all new seals for the lower end of the motor, so we'll install those and hope for the best, and hopefully we'll be able to take this thing for a ride at the end of the video. Alright, let's just start by taking off everything on the bike. Basically what needs to come off is the pipe, the seat, the gas tank, and then we can get to that motor. Gotta take off the carburetor, probably the reeds, the kicker, drain the coolant, and then, yeah, I guess we'll start digging into the motor. Alright, we got the pipe off, the gas tank off, and the seat off here. Got a little bit more access to the motor. Let's see if there's any oil in the pipe after clearing that out. Oh yeah, look at that. It's just getting pumped full of oil. So there's still, you know, I cleared this out one time already and there's still a ton of oil. So let's just dump that out in there. I mean, that is just a crazy amount of oil. So, you know, to me, that has to be a seal that is just blown. I mean, I bet you there's no seal there. I bet you it's just blowing right out. Because that much oil in that small amount of time, I started it up for about 4 minutes, and that's what happened. So, pumped that much oil into that pipe, because this was already cleared out. Just insane. Look at that draining. It's still draining. We're gonna let that probably drain there for a little bit. Prop that up, let that drain out, and yeah, that's just crazy. Like, look at the color too. That's definitely gear oil right there. that's not from the gas. All right, let's start digging into the bottom end here. All right, let's drain this coolant out of here. Should shoot right out. Gotta take out the cap. Let that drain, then we've got to drain the oil as well. See what that oil color is. If it matches the stuff in the pipe, we know that it's probably that grain seal. All right, take a close look at the oil coming out of here. Let's see what color that is. It's definitely not the same color. It's a little different. It's pretty similar. So we've got that. Obviously something's mixing with water here. You can see that's oil mixed with water, oil that's not mixed with water. So I'm guessing head gasket. Because I do have a little bit of coolant left over in here, so that's why that's turning gray. But coming out of there is not gray, so it has not been mixed with water. That tells me that the water pump seal is probably fine, but it tells me that water is getting in, or coolant is getting in through somewhere else. And I'm guessing it's probably here. Because if it's going into the pipe, gray, water's mixing in here. So I guess we will find out. These lines off of here. This one might have a little bit in it. Let's see. Usually one of these lines has some leftover. Nope. That's good. Clutch off of here. Just gonna loosen that guy up first. Well, let's go up here. Get this guy loosened up here. All right, that's out of the way. Let's get the kicker off of here. We're probably gonna have to take off the brake down here too, but yeah, this brake needs to come on. There we go. All right. Any other ones? That one's cocked up. Oh, there's one right there. Got that cover. I can already see it's coming apart. So that's good. Not budging. There we go. Oop. A little oil draining. Oh, didn't save the gasket, but that's okay. We can order up a new gasket. See if I can get this thing out without taking off the kick lever. So far, this is what it looks like. Clutch looks pretty good in there, actually. So that's good. Let's see if I can see where that crank seal is. Looks like it might be behind there. That sucks. Is it completely out? Holy cow. Check that out, guys. Huh. Look at the crank seal. It's completely out of there. There's the fix. Look at that. It blew a crank seal. We predicted this correctly. Holy cow. Look at that thing. It's completely out of the thing. It's not even seated in there. Look at that. That is crazy. Man. Well, that was correct. The right side crank seal. I knew it. I just had that feeling. And with a little bit of help from other people, looking it up, and yeah, that's what it was. It was just sucking in that oil. It had a port right to the crank area. That's insane. I'm like, okay, so where's the crank seal? And then it was just right out like that. So check that out. So the good part is we can access this thing from the clutch. We can just push a new one in there, and that will be that. Wow. That just does not seem right in there. That is insane. So, you guys, if you have low power, if you're smoking a lot, check that crank seal. Check that crank seal for sure. Yeah, so that was really lucky that was that crank seal. I'm feeling pretty good about that, knowing that that is most likely the problem. There we go. There. The inside cover looks pretty good. No metal shavings down here. Everything else looks pretty decent. There goes my spring. All right, let's take a look at the clutch now. Let's see what's going on with the clutch here. Little chip out of it right there. Nothing too crazy though. Clutch plates are looking pretty decent from the outside here. You can see it was rubbing on something right here. I don't know what that's about. Must be hitting the cover at some point in this rotation. You can see it's all kind of rubbed all over. There's a couple little indents right there. Nothing too crazy again. And a couple right there. So, it's not bad. Little chip eye of it right there. You can see. But overall, I've seen much worse. So, it's not too bad. The spring is in good condition for the kick lever. All the gears look like they're there. But we'll take off the clutch and try to figure this whole thing out. Maybe what happened was the seal is supposed to go in from the inside of the case, and the previous owner put it in from the outside, and that's why it blew right by. I'm not positive, but we'll look up the diagram and see how that's supposed to go in there, because that is just weird. Looks like we've got just four 10mm bolts right here, holding this guy on. Looks like we've got a little plate with a bearing in it. Kind of like that. So it goes on that way. And it looks like we've got 4 springs. And then it looks like, what size is that? 14 or bigger? Maybe bigger than 14. No, it's a 14. Let's see if we can get that guy out of there. Wow, that guy's on there. Holy cow. See, put it in gear maybe. Huh. My impact can't get that thing off. That's not good. I don't know what we do now. Well, that kind of sucks. Let's see. Alright guys, so I was able to get this nut off of here. This was on here like this. That thing was just crazy insanely tight on there. I don't know if they used Loctite or what, but this went on there like that, and this went on there with the, you can see the TUO is on the outside of it, like that. And then I used pennies to keep that from spinning in there. And that seemed to work pretty well. I had to double up the pennies because the first one just snapped right in half. But you can see the damage it did to the pennies. So it cost me 2 cents to take that thing off. And then this gear comes out of here. Should at least. Yeah, this little guy comes out of here. Any markings on that? I don't believe any markings on that. So that just goes in there like that. And then this one goes on there. Oh, I don't think that one comes off without the clutch being off of there. Ah, that's gonna really suck. I wonder if I can somehow get that out of there. There we go. So that one doesn't have any markings on it. That one doesn't have any markings on it either. That one can just go in there. Oh, there's a little piece of penny. That goes on there like that. And then the seal, which I'm pretty sure we have to take out the clutch to get that out, but we'll just kind of see what that's looking like in there. The seal is right here. First opened up the clutch cover. It was completely out like that. So that was not good at all. And behind there, you can see the bearing. And the bearing goes right into the crankcase. So you can see the seal was just flopping around right here. See what's going on behind the clutch here. Yeah, so we'll get the seal off, hopefully, and put a new one in there. I still have to look up the diagram and see if that seal is supposed to go in the other way or that way, or how that's supposed to go in, because something should be keeping that tight in there. Alright, so I've been messing around with this bolt right here for a while now. That's pretty stuck in there. I tried heat. I've tried sticking a hammer like this in between the wheel so it wouldn't move, and then taking a wrench and trying to wrench on that. It does not budge because this moves a little bit, so it slowly moves, and that won't budge, and then it rounds out because there's not a whole lot to grab onto right there. I tried hammering it from the sides with a hammer, will not budge. So what we're gonna do is, I don't know, either drill it out or try heating it up again one more time and really cranking on it. But that thing is not coming out. All right, so I decided to drill it out. After about half an hour of pounding, the sucker finally came out. Oh, jeez. Look at that thing. So that's why I drill. You can see I drilled all the way into there, and finally it came loose. Just pounding on the sides of it with a hammer and a screwdriver. Sucker finally came loose. We're going to have to really clean this engine case out though, or at least the clutch area, because there's a bunch of metal shavings in there. But I'm just happy we got that thing out. Many of the metal pieces out as I can. Alright, so looks like this comes off of here like this, hopefully. There we go. Hopefully it's not damaged at all. Oh, the whole clutch comes off. Perfect. Okay. Finally, got access to this thing. Whew. It took forever. Alright, so let's see what we're working with here. So this is the old seal. You can see it's really hardened up on the outsides and stuff. It's like really, really hard. You can see it's kind of rusty on the inside too, just a little bit. Let's see if we've got a seal that matches that. Alright, we've got our kit right here. Looks like that one's gonna match up perfectly. So let's open that guy up. That sucker's gonna go right on here. We're gonna make sure that's the right way that goes. And if we need anything else, I'm gonna go look at the manual and find out what we need to know. Alright guys, so the seal's going in right here. We're just gonna clean out the surface with a little bit of brake cleaner here. Make sure there's nothing on the grooves or anything getting by there. We're just gonna inspect it. What I thought were cracks right here are just marks from the case. You can see right there and right there. There's just marks in there from the case. Very normal, so it's not cracked. At first I thought it was. So good thing that it's not the case there. Just trying to get out everything that's bad in there. Alright, so that looks pretty good to go. Let's install the new seal here. I put a little grease on the outside of it. That's what they recommend. This is going towards the outside like that. Every video I looked up and everything, these little marks are to the outside. So basically we're just gonna put this guy on, and I guess nothing really holds that in except for the friction between the case and the seal. So just gonna kind of punch that in. Yeah, that's a lot tighter than the other one. Kind of just goes right in there like that. So that's fitting in there nice and tight. Looking pretty good. To bottom out, All right, that's good to go. All right, we got everything back on. This one is torqued down and tight. This one we're gonna have to go and find a replacement bolt for. You can see it's just pretty much wrecked. All right, just got back from Menards. Got some oil for it. And then we've got a couple of the bolts, a couple different kinds. Wasn't sure what kind to get, so got a couple of different ones. This is the old one that we have to match up. We got some Dremel cutoff tools as well. So let's see what happens here. All right, out of all the bolts, this one looks the most similar. You can see it's pretty much the exact same length, and the threads look to be the same. So I guess we'll try that out right now. Let's go over there. We got the Dremel cutoff tools just in case it's a little bit too long, but let's just see. We'll put the washer on there. See if that goes in there. Seems like it's going in. So far, so good. Sweet. It looks like that works. All right, first try. That was pretty good. And then we just have to repair this gasket right there. All right, everything's back on the bike here. You can see the clutch is all hooked up. Coolant lines are hooked up. Let's put some coolant in this thing. All right, time to add a little oil here. 600 centimeters cubed. That's what we're gonna add. Let's see. All right, oil's all added. Let's attempt to start this thing. Should be pretty exciting. Hopefully that seal in there works. All right, here we go. Let's hope it doesn't rev up like it did before. Let's see if it's got power too. In the garage yard. All right, obviously running a lot better. Let's see, is there coolant dripping from there? No, no leaks anywhere. All right, let's go check and see if it has power now. gas off or something? The thing rips wheelies.
Yeah.
Rips right up.
Barely.
Chuck's taking it for a little rip. I think it's running really lean. Here it comes. Little guy goes. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Not horrible. And like just dies though.
Oh, it's still going.
Look at that idle. That's like as low as you can go. Holy. Yeah, I think something in the carburetor just needs to be jetted differently, but that's the recommended jetting. 125 for the main, and then yeah, 52 for the pilot. Uh-oh, she died. Is the gas off or something? All right, we just touched it up. Looking a lot better. We touched up the frame with white paint and then the motor area with some black. Took some cleaner, cleaned up the rims, cleaned up the plastics a little bit. I mean, it can only get so good. And we took the pipe and took some tin foil, shined that up. That looks a lot better actually. So the pipe cleaned up, and then you can see we touched up the white frame right there, and then the black right here used to be all rubbed off. So it's looking a lot better. Obviously never going to be perfect unless you buy brand new plastics. Then we put a temporary grip right there. This one's kind of broken right there. But it's looking pretty good for $400 machine. Really not too bad. And it runs pretty good. I think the boot right here has a little tiny air leak in it. So that's probably why it doesn't idle the best. And sometimes maybe it just squeezes air past there. So could probably order up a new boot, because I did repair that one and there was a huge crack in it. Otherwise, it runs pretty good, pretty fun, lots of power. And Chuck rode it. Lifts up pretty good. Yeah. It's not too bad for a little Cr80. I bet you it's fast. Didn't really go through all the gears. Just rode around the yard, but third gear, lifted right up. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and maybe even learned something. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Till next time, we are out.